Well, the action scenes at the top too.
The action scenes at the top are definitely more like Ben Affleck-esque.
Yeah.
I was badass.
I was even sitting here going like, "Damn, eat your heart out, Robert Pattinson."
You're so corny. Eat your heart out, Robert Pattinson.
That was very corny. That was a very corny moment. I'm not even trying to cool it up, but in that moment, I was like, underneath the bridge, my ass.
What's going on, Reject Nation? We are going to watch today from an awesome YouTube channel called Bat in the Sun. This short film, crowdfunded by a big crowd. Batman dying is easy. We got tagged on social media like, you guys gotta cover this. I made sure to contact Bat in the Sun over on Twitter. I asked them, hey, is it cool if I just re-upload your video without us reacting to it? Could I just take the credit for this video? And they said no, but you can do a reaction to it. And I said, fine. Bottom line, we have permission to do a reaction to it.
And add commentary.
Thanks, Bat in the Sun. Let's watch this. No, I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited for it. This is gonna be awesome. And one day they will make a Batman live action movie or do something on HBO Max. For now.
Such a cool logo, even.
Yes. What I love about the designs that I've seen teased are like, they seem to be like a hybrid of a whole bunch of different Batman, like animated series, the Dark Knight trilogy, even the DCU with the Snyders. You can just see it right here in the logos and such.
Whoa.
Gotham City. Brian Murray. Ah, that's freaking Casper Van Dien.
My man.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Owie. I love the blood.
You enjoy stealing innocence. You get off on it.
Not your chocolate cream cake. Girls, my Alice's seem to enjoy it.
Never again.
That yellow hatter.
Don't leave me here. Please.
Oh, intimacy.
Hey.
Oh, crap. Alfred, where are you? Alfred.
You want to be my psychic? The iceberg.
Or was that Cassandra Cain?
I was wondering
that.
that.
Stereotyping.
Yes. It's less racist if you say.
Give me a minute, would you?
Michael Madsen.
Bullock. What do you want?
Oh, he's a perfect Bullock.
I know. It's just, can't be Gordon.
Hey, you showed up. How's it hanging there? That's.
I don't have any time for your lack of candor, Bullock. Talk.
Where's
You think I
Gordon?
enjoy coming up here in the middle of the night, freezing my butt off, just because Gordon's in the hospital? I got real cases. I had actual things to do. 3 of my men are missing. And you know what? I'm gonna find out where they are, one way or another. I don't really have a lot of extra time. The babysit freak in a cave. flying around the city pretending to be a superhero. You know, just because Gordon respects you doesn't mean I have to, right?
It goes both ways.
This looks so cool.
I
Listen,
know.
you know what? I have some good news for you. The face-to-face clown is dying.
Oh.
Anything else?
Well, he's demanding to see you, of course. You guys spend most of your life together, right? I thought maybe you'd be excited. A little celebration from your side of things. No, as far as I'm concerned, one of you madness dwellers is getting exactly what you deserve.
Death of the Joker, nothing to celebrate.
All I'm saying is that somebody should have pulled the trigger on him a long time ago.
You're the one with a gun and a license to kill.
Dude, this guy looks great.
I know.
Do it, and you'll see exactly how deep this well of madness can run.
It's definitely got the Frank Miller vibes too.
Dude, Michael Madsen could play Bullock in his sleep.
I know. It's his default character.
Listen, I thought I told you to give me a minute. Whoosh.
Yes.
Anyway. Hey, Matt!
Hugo, I'm on
Yo, Hugo Strange.
cell to the recreation room.
I see you spoke to Lieutenant Bullock. I would have reached out to you personally, but I have no way of contacting you directly.
As it should be.
He sounds like Kevin Conroy has the face of Michael Keaton and this like edge of like the Ben Affleck Batman.
Yeah.
And he's like so natural, like built. Like it's
No, yeah,
it's
he's
like-
jacked.
It's like the Batman animated series version.
God.
This could be a TV show.
Man.
Damn.
Props to your location scouting. Like,
This really could be a TV show. Look at this. This is incredible. This is
gorgeous.
absolutely incredible.
Good evening to all. This is Dr. Hugo Strange. This announcement is regarding tonight's schedule. Due to a code B27, dinner and all night activities will be delayed until further notice. Mandatory lockdown is in effect. Staff on Supplemental 6, please be extra cautious. That is all.
That guy looks so familiar.
I know.
Yo, is that
Jones?
Doug Jones? It is Doug Jones. Oh, he's the Riddler?
To you. Everyone else uses it.
Oh.
Hi, they.
This is so cool.
Hello.
Did you miss me? I hope you've gotten all my love letters. That Harley, he walked right past you. That's another man who doesn't respect you.
Croc.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks amazing.
Damn.
Easy now. Watch your fingers.
What a long walk to the Joker.
I know. You gotta walk through the whole asylum to get to this guy.
Yes, get these off me.
It's all yours.
I bet the Joker has something to do with that. I bet the Joker has something to do with that.
This moment. It was supposed to take place on the Gotham Bridge. But Reserve, or Jerry's abandoned circus, televised for millions to see. It wasn't supposed to end like this.
What do you want?
I'm dying. Melanoma.
Well, I guess that acid bath wasn't too funny, was it?
The night we first met. With all my close calls, skin cancer, the humor is not lost on me. I guess dying is easy.
Yeah, and comedy is hard. Why am I here?
That's a great question. I want you to finish what you started. I want you, Patsy, to kill me.
I knew it.
Not the cancer. Our legacy is too grand to end with a whimper. It must be epic. It must be gut-wrenching. You have nothing to say. I just told you that I'm dying. This is it. The final confrontation after all we've been through. This is our final soliloquy.
I don't care about our legacy.
Bye.
You're a coward. You won't kill me because you're afraid. Not because of some high moral code or your one rule. It's because without me, you can't justify your own existence.
You're right. I am afraid. I'm afraid of myself. That once I murder, I'll like the taste of it. And then I'll kill every single inmate at Arkham Asylum.
I want to see that movie.
Yeah.
Freeze
Prison
has
fight.
Aura. Poison Ivy has her environmental cause. And Riddler has his puzzles. But you have nothing. Without me, you become your worst fear. And that's being upstaged by everyone here.
I am the king of this asylum. See my crown? It sparkles in the bitter glow of twilight.
He's like
Patsy,
it's like Mark Hamill and Jack Nicholson combined.
you've spent your whole life fighting crime. Night after night. Dead sidekick after dead sidekick. And for what? You're utterly miserable. Afraid of the one thing that could possibly bring you joy. See, I am completely and genuinely happy. I wake up every morning with a great big smile. I absolutely love my life. But you absolutely hate.
Oh, he's pushing. He's pulling. He's pulling.
I've often wondered, where were you when the boy lay bleeding out on the floor in that dusty warehouse? Where were you? True, presenting him to me was a stroke of genius, masterful in your story writing.
Ugh.
And I have to give the boy credit. He knew how to sell it.
He.
His firm, muscular body breaking under the weight of my lead crowbar. Do you know what his last words were? With his last breath, what he said.
I'll come back as the redhead.
He said your name over and over again. I would give anything to hear the boy scream your name.
No. Punch him just once.
Did I hit a nerve?
Oh, look at the shading of it. It's all dark now. Yeah.
Moving on.
Over the cuckoos. That's in conversations with God. Yes.
So photogenic.
No.
So young. Do you know what I remember most about this night? It was her hair. It smelled like lavender.
Enough of this.
Finish it. Do whatever it wants and just kill me.
I'm not an executioner.
Just an indirect one, Betsy. I can never measure up to your death toll. Yours is the accumulation of everyone in this asylum. Half the gemstones. Gotham. Because of you, that's your legacy. Enough!
Do it. Just for a little bit. Just for like 30 seconds.
How many people would still be alive if you had died years ago? Robin would have a little flock of his own. And Barbara, her dreams shattered like her spine.
You say that you're king around here, but all I hear is the same old song and dance. You're no longer relevant. When's the last time that you've been in the news? Croc, Ivy, Freeze. Even Condiment King have had their headlines. What have you done?
Good job, Condiment King.
That failed the curtain, Betsy. You know those 3 missing police officers? I killed them. I gutted them and left them to rot at O'Neill's Toyland. I can't tell you how much of a joy it's been to watch in secret as Gotham's joy.
Looks like he's really choking.
Selling it, yeah. God, how that scene went is choke me harder. Choke me harder. Get me into character.
Yeah, but freaking Joker, man.
Or could you get all that?
Loud and clear.
Barbara!
Sending the info to GCPD now.
You're self-protected. I knew that if I worked you up, you'd lose your focus.
Worked up. I'm dying.
Are you?
What are you talking about?
I faked your toxicology report.
Oh, cool.
Look at me. I'm sick.
I've been poisoning your water supply for weeks. I knew that if you thought that you were dying, then you'd play your cards out to try to impress me. I discovered that one of Jervis's thugs had possession of a police baton. It was registered to one of the missing police officers.
Detective Batman.
I found 3 sets of fingerprints, and one of them was yours.
You lied to me.
Kind of. Very aroused.
Spent weeks planning and preparing this, so we could have another awe-inspiring performance. I must say, Betsy, bravo, bravo.
I guess dying isn't easy.
Is that a joke?
So the next time the Joker's actually really sick, Arkham's gonna be like, nah, Batman's just faking it.
It'll take him days to find his actual dead body.
He's not really dead. Batman
Nah,
just
don't
did that.
Don't believe me. He's just playing.
We're about done here. Continue.
All right. Good job. So you get it done now tomorrow. All right. Easy.
Can you imagine what these guys could do with an actual, like, real television budget?
Yeah.
And not crowdfunding and their own money, you know?
Yeah, with literal millions, man. It'd be insane.
Full time. And me included.
You'd have to be real.
Think I was too stupid to sell it?
Those are your words, not mine.
I wish I could have saved the man in time.
Those men were already dead.
Excuse me, what was that? What'd you just say?
I said they were already dead.
You knew they were dead.
Yes.
What was all that about? Why did you do all that for them?
I didn't do it for them. I did it for their families. I had to take away hope so their families could heal. It said that the worst thing to come out of Pandora's box were not the sorrows of the plagues. It was hope itself. Hope's a gamble. Hope lacks certainty. And this city knows all too well what hopelessness and pain can do. It drives it mad. Now without hope, maybe the family can start the healing process and move on.
Get to grieving.
I can see why Gordon respects you.
He's a heartless bastard, too.
He used to think you were too crazy to deal with. And I realize now, underneath that Halloween costume, is he not such a bad guy at all? What an asshole.
I heard that. I don't know what it's like to get to acceptance and grief, though. Do this all for my parents that I never got over.
That's right, calling me an honest dweller. Not knowing why or who killed my parents has left me with this endless open wound. An abyss that I stare into every night. It's that lack of closure that's turned me into this monster. A monster that I both fear and embrace. A monster that I call the Batman.
Gotham Gazette. Woo!
Hells yeah, dude.
That was great, guys.
Bravo.
That was great.
Wow.
Kevin Porter. Oh, the writer,
Damn.
director, co-director played him. Cool. Good for him. Doug Jones got that right. Who was Hugo Strange? Chris Daughtry,
What?
the singer?
That's how I know that name. And I do know him for having the chrome dome and the beard. Dang.
All right, you play Joker. I'll do the music.
Fair trade.
And I'll do the sound design. But hey.
But I'm editing it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
editing
we'll
it.
produce
You
it
can touch
together.
yeah.
We're doing the brothers conversation.
Gosh, man.
Jamie Costa. That's
he does the
the
impressions
Obi-Wan.
of, deep fakes and stuff. Yeah.
Amy Johnson. Is she the... I think she was the stunt... was she someone who was on Quarter Crew once? The stunt
Sounds
woman?
familiar. I feel like she might have been.
Played Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Poison Ivy looked kind of familiar too, but I didn't catch
Got
the
some
name.
actual names on here.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that crowdfunding coming through.
That's right.
Yeah. This is such a lovely piece of music. If
We should do crowdfunding for our little sketches.
We should.
We need $100. Can you help get us
But
that?
think about the stretch goals. $6,000 we could add characters. We could add multiple locations.
We could hire a third person.
Hire a third person to help us do this. Yeah, we should start doing that. It's easier to crowdfund something.
Oh, Sean
tiny.
is a woman.
Dang.
This is written vocals. My bad.
Hey, man.
I was like, whoa.
There are gals named Sean.
Written
too.
and performed by. Okay. Oh, the music and stuff. All right. I did not mean to impersonate Matthew McConaughey. Oh! No idea who this is.
Storm. X-Men.
That's a sexy costume. Miss Kyle.
Selena.
Huh? Oh, dang.
Let's do this.
Stay tuned for the very sexy follow-up. Hey, man, this is the direction we have yet to go with any
I think
of
if they
these
had a show, it
properties.
would be pretty cool to get like a random thank you to everyone here who's being listed.
Oh, man.
I think it'd be cool if they did have their own show. That if you had like one of your bottled episodes of just 1 hour Selena and Bruce on the roof, and you just watch like what happens.
Watch all that sexual tension play
No,
out.
more than that. You know, the conflicts, the
Yeah.
conversations, mixed in with sexual interactions.
Yeah. That are all
Maybe-
shot like a 300
Yeah,
scene or
you get the
something.
director of Malcolm and Marie to do it in that episode.
I love the idea of a bottle episode set in a bottle that's just the rooftop of something. It's like the biggest bottle conceivable. Good
That
on
in the
you.
sun.
That in the sun.
That was amazing.
A++++.
Yeah, that was seriously an amazing job. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I hope these guys are able to get a TV show one day. Can't imagine the pressure of having to write and direct and also play the Joker.
That's like every hat
damn.
at once, and you have to know everything in and out. Like, how do you focus on even directing a scene when you're the Joker?
I mean, it's not the best choice of words to be like playing Batman's easier. I wouldn't say playing Batman is easier. Something with Batman that's interesting is especially if you're doing like a fan-made film, is if you're doing an embodiment of prior Batmans, people could be like, yeah. With Joker, you want to see something definitely different every time, which is kind of the weird dichotomy. It's like you want them to not do an impersonation of someone, whereas like this Batman, I thought that there was certain rhythmic lines that would certainly felt different, and I felt like he was this kind of cool clash of like Kevin Conroy, Michael Keaton, and Ben Affleck all like meshing away, even some of Christian Bale. It was like all the live action Batman mixed with the Kevin Conroy voice, and I love that, and I feel like his presence was so imposing. So I don't want to act like his, you know, it wasn't a unique performance. It certainly was. It's just with Joker, I think there tends to be more eyes on what's the different thing they're gonna do. And I thought it was interesting, kind of this like, because he's supposed to be ill and under the weather, and he, you know, it's like, why he's got the eyebrow down. And he did remind me of like a mix of Mark Hamill and Jack Nicholson. It seemed to be kind of this like inward expression with his body language. Like his arms are always like kind of here, you know, and this rhythm with his words was kind of like this pacing, you know. Yeah, sickly is a good word, almost like Gollum-esque. Yeah.
It's like a Gollum-esque lilt in his cadence to it, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was unique, you know, like you get the like this is the live action Batman TV show version I would love to watch. I'd be so addicted to this, and I love that you never actually see him as Bruce Wayne in this short film.
Yeah.
Like it feels very like a contained, I don't know if contain's the right word, but it's very specific of what the story we are telling here, and also, you know, like a cool chance at world building of selling people on. Like I keep talking about them getting a TV show, and I don't know what the big goal of it is.
Yeah.
It just feels like they could do a TV show.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it seems like each of these cells is a potential episode waiting to happen. And I mean, the writing level with the way that they went back and forth between Batman, the motivations of this entire meeting in general, the twists and turns. Like, imagine what they could do with, you know, that level of writing we saw here, but with these various other characters and whatnot, you know?
Yeah, I think they have a great handle on tone and pace. The music, I thought, was wonderful. Like, did they shoot this in LA? I can't tell where they shot this.
I couldn't tell either, and I know some of that exterior stuff must have been composited and CG'd together, but it was really convincing for the most part. And yeah, some of those interiors looked like places that you could see downtown. You know?
Some of those exterior, like the rooftop shots, were starting to look like downtown LA to me. I don't know. I mean, it's like the only one I could ever really define is that's definitely New York City. But you know, but when they do like hop around between Chicago or Canada or LA, I'm like, not sure which one this is. You know?
Yeah, totally. Some of those like over shoulder down into like a busy city street shots that looked clearly like they were in camera, and like those could have been LA.
But the aesthetic of what Gotham looked like had this really cool hodgepodge where it wasn't so much like the Dark Knight where it just feels like they shot it in Chicago.
Yes,
and then they had a yellow cinematography tint to it. You know, and it wasn't like to the extreme of like a Tim Burton movie, you know, but it did have the mix of feeling like a real city. It was kind of more akin to, I'd say, actually the Gotham TV show. Like, I really love that series, and I found it very underrated, and it felt more like that, where so you got a little bit of your animated flourishes here and there with some of the lighting and some of what's being put in the background, but mainly it also feels like a real city come to life, but it still has that menace throughout. But all those, like, statue shots of Batman on the rooftops are always like, dude, this looks straight like a real thing.
Like right down to like the way the cape is hanging as he's staring out over the city, the line of gargoyles, like everything from the way they handle the characters to the look to just the vibe of Gotham City and the Asylum in general. Like, it had so much personality, and even though the centerpiece of the whole thing is this conversation between Joker and the Batman, the bookends have so much life that it really feels like you are kind of living in and walking through Gotham City. And it's like props to the location managers too, because it had that perfect Gotham equality where it doesn't feel too much like an exact city I know. It has that sort of downtrodden, grim sort of underglow to it, you know? And it's further enhanced by how, like, I thought the building they chose to be the Asylum was gorgeous because it has that perfectly sort of gothic, it's kind of old and not too run down, but you know, it could be a lot in better repair. Everything came together in such a professional looking way that I would love to see them tackle a huge budget.
Well, the visual effects and the practical effects of what they did with all the characters they were cutting around to in Arkham Asylum looked really freaking good. And, like, it looked great. Always keep in mind, like, this is not funded by Warner Brothers, you know?
It's funded by you.
Yeah, so having to do like a passion project like this and to see how good it turned out is so awesome and impressive, and it has so much nostalgia, but also a lot of refreshing new qualities to it.
Well, the action scenes at the top too.
The action scenes at the top are definitely more like Ben Affleck-esque.
I was
badass.
I was even sitting here going like, damn, eat your heart out, Robert Pattinson.
You're so corny. Eat your heart out, Robert Pattinson.
That was very corny. That was a very corny moment. I'm not even trying to cool it up. But in that moment, I was like, underneath the bridge, my ass. So let's get corny to cringe. That's where I want to go.
But yeah, I mean, back to the Arkham Asylum, though. That scene with Batman and Joker, I mean, it's like, you're getting the references down of, you know, you got Jason Todd being mentioned here, you got Barbara Gordon. I actually love the way that whole scene was done. It's like, yes, it's kind of the traditional battle of ideologies and philosophies of this yin and yang situation of Batman and Joker going toe to toe. And it's like you pick up on Joker's trying to push him, Joker's provoking him to try to do the final kill. You see where that's going. And then by the time Batman like had the chain around, I'm like, all right, as aggressively awesome as this is, you're like, yeah, Batman's not gonna kill him. You know, it's like that's probably what it's gonna be. It's like, I won't kill him and I won't give into it. But then I was so impressed with what the reveal was. Oh, this was Batman's plan the whole time. Like, I really didn't see that part of the equation coming in. Batman had been setting this up in order, because he's the one who's actually pushing Joker, and whereas Joker was under the impression he was pushing Batman. To have that moment of, you have all that shit with Barbara Gordon being put on display and Batman being put into a rage after that whole thing about Jason Todd and freaking Barbara, and then he's like, oh, screw you, Joker. And then to immediately go, Oracle, did you catch that? That cathartic, rewarding feeling of, oh, like Joker was just trying to talk shit on all that stuff he did to Barbara, and now Barbara's got him, you know? Like, it's so badass. And I love that level of like detective work that Batman is actually doing in here. So I think that this really captured the spirit of Batman so well. The beginning with the fight scenes and working through the shadows, you know, is getting into his Batmobile from the Batcave and working through the shadows and taking on some bad guys and doing the fight scenes, but then being heroic, the philosophy discussions, and then of course having the detective manipulation tactics that he does, which was great. One of the more impressive ingredients to me actually is the Bullock portrayal from Michael Madsen, who is just so natural for something like this. Like you hear Michael Madsen's Bullock, you're like, oh yeah, I'm fucking, no, yeah, totally. It's such an easy association to make. One of my favorite portrayals of Bullock is actually from the Gotham TV show, where he's not just crooked cop, like eventually becomes like a really good guy. I appreciated this of like Bullock is forced into this position of having to work with Batman just because Gordon is hospitalized. You feel this thing of like resistance from Michael Madsen's performance of, obviously he judges and doesn't like Batman, but there's this side of him underneath that's like, maybe I should open myself up to him or change my mind, especially in that final scene they had. I love that complex layers. Like Michael Madsen easily could have just shown up and been like, screw it. but I felt like, especially in that final scene, that Michael Madsen really brought a real performance here.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, every aspect of this I thought was awesome and impressive, and I hope these guys get a TV show. If you haven't subscribed to them, do yourself a favor, subscribe to them, show your support. If you watched it here for the first time with our reaction, please go to their video and actually watch it. It deserves to be seen on a full-size screen like this full-size screen. Dang, right here.
So much better than mine.
Hit that like button. Check us out on Patreon as well. Last but not least, Scuba Steve. Scuba, my friend. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of bringing back that whole thing about you doing graffiti work. Because you know who would do a great job at doing graffiti work in Gotham City? Scuba Steve. You could be top notch in the gang of the, like Joker kills off a lot of his henchmen, but he would need you because in terms of doing like Why So Serious and the Joker spray paints all over the wall, all the neon colors and the mixtures and stuff, you're the guy for it. You'd be like, no, anyone can be killed but Scuba Steve. You are an asset in the criminal underworld. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You have a lot of value to bad guys everywhere, to people who litter, to people who destroy buildings, property damage. You are an essential ingredient to the increasingly non-stop homeless population that we have in America today.
You took the words right out of my mouth until the end there.